Hey, this is Mike B. I just wanted to read you a devotional that I read a little while ago, and it inspired me to minister a message called "I Can Handle It." And I want to read it to you because I think that sometimes we just need to be encouraged. Sometimes we just need, to hear something that will strengthen us and allow us to go that extra mile because, life can really, get us down, and life can really, weigh on us when we have a lot that we're dealing with and we had a lot of responsibility. So I just want to read this to you, and I pray that it bless you. Uh, the caption says, "He will empower you with inner strength, the grace to handle it." It says, for 15 years, Dr. Robert Schuller's secretary, Lois, battled cancer. And for every one of them, she served God faithfully. Schuller writes, "I don't think I ever met anyone more courageous. Some days she was so ill, getting out of bed took all the strength she had. She'd deliberately fall out of bed, walk on her hands and knees to the bathroom, reach for the sink, and pull herself up. She'd force herself to get dressed, stumble into the kitchen, drink some water, eat a dry piece of toast, search for her purse, and walk to the door. Perspiring, perspiring, perspiration pouring off her forehead, she looked at her husband and say, 'Well, Ralph, I think I can make it now.' Then she'd get into her car and drive to church. She was always there before me, and when I arrived with my usual greeting, 'Good morning, how are you?' she'd always smile and say, 'Great.' I never knew until after her funeral what she went through. Only God can give you that kind of courage. The Bible says, from His unlimited resources, God will empower you with inner strength through His Spirit. There are many ways to say it, but none more eloquent than the hymnist Annie Johnson Flint, who puts it like this: "When we have exhausted our store of endurance, when our strength has failed or the day is half done, when we reach the end of our hoarded resources, our Father's full giving has only begun. His love has no limit, His grace has no measure, His power no boundary known unto men. For out of His infinite riches in Jesus He giveth and giveth and giveth again." The grace to handle it. Think about that for a minute. This lady, in her situation, in her condition, never stopped doing what she loved. She didn't give up, even though her body, was rocking with pain at times, and even though she was going through something that, most people would be ready to throw in the towel. She didn't let it stop her from serving God. She didn't let it stop her from going to the place where she got strength. Now, maybe for some of you, that place of strength may be a library, maybe a book, maybe a friend, maybe a place of religious worship. Whatever that place is that you get strength from is where sometimes you need to get to in order to be able to go forward. It says the grace to handle it, but I ministered a message entitled "I Can Handle It." And no matter what you're up against, you can handle it when you realize where your strength comes from. All your strength comes from the Lord. Now, I know that for some of you that may be listening to this, you may be wondering, why am I, talking about the Lord? Because I love the Lord. I know what He's done for me. And I know how He's kept me. So this is for those of you that realize that there was something in your life at times that you couldn't handle, but because of the Lord's grace and because of His mercy, you were able to handle it, and you were able to get through whatever it is that you were facing. You were able to get to the place that you needed in order to go one more day, in order to handle one more situation, in order to press through. You were able to handle it because if it wasn't for the Lord that gave you strength, you would not have made it. And that's why I just wanted to share this with you, because I think that, we forget sometimes about why, God allows us to go through things, because He wants to make sure that we always lean on him. He is our strength. He is the one that gives us the ability to do what we do. He is the one that helps us, get through what we get through. Regardless of what we may go through, regardless of what it may look like, he gives us the grace to handle it. He gives us the ability to go forward. He allows us to experience certain things in our life so that he can show himself mightily. You can handle it now, even though it may not feel like you can, because you believe in him and because you trust him. You're able to make it in one more day. You're able to go one more second. You're able to go that extra mile. You can handle it when you allow him to be your strength and your source. So this is Mike B, and I just want to encourage you and let you know that you can handle it with God.